Hello and welcome to Conversations for the Soul with Dr. Angie Gray and Yashica B, the Eclectic Mindset Motivator. So we are so happy that you have chosen to join us this evening, and we are so excited because we have a very special guest coming on today. That is Dr. Pamela Henkel of Purpose with Pamela. I believe I said that correctly, but she will get us straight if I did not. So we wanted to just take this moment out, as we always do, to let you know that this would be the time. We would really appreciate it if you liked, shared, and subscribed to our YouTube channel. And if you liked and shared on our Facebook page, we would really like that, on your own Facebook page. And this is a time where we have real talk about real issues and real life. And of course, certainly we are real women. Some of our conversations are sweet, some of them are savory, but all of them are tasty. So we are looking forward to having a wonderful show. We want you to participate. We look forward to your active, interactive participation. We want your questions, your feedback, your input. And most of all, we want you to know that we appreciate you being here. So thanks for joining us. And I'm going to bring on our co-host, Miss Yashica B, the Eclectic Mindset Motivator. Got me all tied there, Yashica B.
Huh?
How are you?
I'm good. Goodness. I was listening to the tongue tie. I said, is that me announcing or that Dr. Angie? Normally, that'll be me.
Sometimes it happens like that.
So how has it been? How has it been? We're so delighted to be on tonight. We've been gone so long, sometimes I just wonder. But you know, we're always transparent with our audience, so it is what it is.
Absolutely. I see we have a couple of people who have joined us already. Nicole Parici and Martinette James. Hello, ladies. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. And Yashica B, what's happening with you? I like the hair and the colors and all that good stuff.
You know, I'm always preaching about doing something different, so I decided to do something different today, which is put on some colors. I was in my normal black. I'm stressing. Well, I'm not stressing because I don't stress. Not really. I just say it because it sounds good, but I don't really do it. I'm working on this paper.
You are funny.
But I'll still look. We're gonna be speeding through this one until I wait to the last minute Annie over here. Organized chaos. That's what I do. Organized chaos, but it works.
Absolutely. Hey, it is what it is.
Imagine if that chaos, if I really got it organized, how great it'll be. It'll be just too much, too easy.
Yes, very nice. Very nice.
Now you doing my number. You looking down. You know I'm nosing. What you doing?
I'm trying to share. I told you I have a hard time getting this sharing going until after we start. It doesn't seem to let me do it ahead of time.
Oh, well, that's just some of life.
So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So I thought you were covering me. No, you're not covering me. You holding me out. Come on, man.
I'm sliding you under the bus.
You did. Boom, boom. Golly.
Yes, I see some of our great ones on. I'm happy to see that. Happy to see everybody joining in, and I hope that everybody's looking for a nice show and a great week ahead. And before long, we'll introduce our guest. We do have a special guest this morning. Hey, Lamont Radford, how are you? Remember Higher Definition Radio? So how are you? Thanks for joining. We're going to get started here. Well, we already started. So are we ready to bring our guests on? Is it some housekeeping we want to do? We already asked you to please like and share. Dr. Angie and I will start being just a tad bit more consistent with coming on. However, we always believe in self-care. So if you don't see us, you know it's something going on that we are taking care of. And it happens. Life happens. So we're better be prepared in that way than be flat out in another way. So it is what it is.
Right? That's right. And I know all about that.
Absolutely. We do not need one of those scares again.
Yeah.
No, we do not.
Just
However,
keep you on your toes. Make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure I'm paying attention to make sure we can still carry on. I'm grateful for that. Without further ado, we've talked about back in, I want to say, when we started, about September, October, November, by October of last year, we started a project. It was called the Women of the Powerboys Anthology, and myself and Pamela Henkel did a collaboration on this anthology, and she's here tonight to join us. And she's got a lot of things that has happened since then. One with the initials to her name, and so we will talk about that in just a minute and see where we're going with that. How are you ready? Is she ready? Are we ready to go?
She is ready. I'm going to bring her in.
Where's our number one fan at? I ain't seen him check in yet. The pastor.
Hello. How are you?
Hi. Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome to Conversations for the Soul.
I love the name.
Yeah, that was Yashica B's baby. So anyhow, we are so excited to have you joining us. I recently participated on your show as well. So we are just making our circles and getting a chance to know each other and getting a chance to find out exactly what's going on with all of us powerhouse women. And I tell you what, I am excited, and I know that our audience is excited as well. I want to give you the opportunity to just introduce yourself and let us know what's going on with Dr. Pamela Henkel.
Well, thank you. Well, what's going on? Well, number one, I live in Minnesota and we are having a thaw. Woo! We're really excited about that up here. My kids are saying at 40 degrees, can we please go out in shorts?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
40? No, right. So about a week or so ago, funny quick story, we still had snow, but it was starting to melt. My kids were like, just one more time going sledding. So I took them to the sledding hill. And when they came back to the car, they were literally drenched because at the bottom of the hill, there was all that melted water. So right. They would go down and do a little jump, splash with those sleds right into the water. Oh my gosh. I was like, did you guys go surfing or?
Is that like a tale of two cities or what?
Right, that was crazy. So that's life in Minnesota anyways. So thank you for having me on tonight. And wow, I'm so excited to talk about the women of the Powerboys because it was such an experience. Little things that are going on with me. I have another anthology that's just getting ready to come out the gate. And that is with Apostle Deborah Allen. She's amazing. Quite a visionary like you ladies are, and had the title of, again, Women of Power, Ignited to Serve. And there's a whole nother orbit. It's just fun when God takes you into other orbits with other people and you expand, your, not just your reach, but your friendships around the world. And that is so much fun. So we're involved in that. Have a couple of new classes that are going to be coming out and still loving doing my mentoring and coaching. So, that's kind of what's going on. I'm going to be speaking at an international prayer conference virtually coming up in May. That's exciting to be a part of that. So a lot of awesome things that are happening. And, I always say to him be the glory of all of that. So thank you. Yes. That's just a little bit about what's going on with us. The kids are excited because we're on the home stretch, school being done for the year and all of that. So I think that covers it, Dr. Angie.
Very nice. Awesome. So now with the Women of the Powerboys, I know that there were a number of authors that were involved with that. And I know that you all got a very distinctive award. Do you want to talk about that award?
A distinctive award. I'm not sure that I'm following you on that.
Oh, you're international.
Oh, international. I thought you meant like somebody was sending me something and I'm like, what? Oh no. All right, quick recovery. All right, yes, international best-selling authors, women of the Power Voice. And I have to tell you, I've had the pleasure of having these ladies on my platform. And it was really awesome with Yashica to get to know them all, you know, as we met on Zoom and connecting with them. But being in that space of just being able to have that one-on-one or two-on-one and really hear their stories has been so just eye-opening, heartwarming. I mean, tears of joy, tears of tears, you know, like just so incredible to hear how everybody converged on the scene at the Powerboys Academy with Mr. Les Brown. I mean, it's just how everybody ended up there, which of course drove us to the book. Yay! But it's amazing. So, oh my gosh, these women are all rock stars. They're all superstars. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Awesome. And I see there are a couple of the authors online. I see Miss Martinette on there, and I see Andy on there. Hello, ladies. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so if you have anything that you would like to comment, ladies, please feel free to pop in a comment in the chat box and we'll go from there. So
yeah,
that's
on my I watch it on my phone as well as on the side, because on the side I can't reply as much, so I have to reply on my phone. So I do see we have some comments in there and that are coming up, and which is a good thing.
Absolutely. I'm trying to so Nicole says, all of the women are just amazing. Thank you so much, Nicole. And I'm going to say that I was privileged and honored to be a part of this anthology. So I'm excited about that too. And one of the things that I do know that came from this whole experience is that we get a chance to connect with one another. So as there were a number of women on there, those connections left from the anthology and continue to grow and to become other situations. As you mentioned, Dr. Henkel, you have another anthology coming up. So that's another project that came as a result of it. And I know that there are many such projects. I've been following a lot of the authors, and they're doing some great and wonderful things, doing things in terms of getting laptops together for, I know one of the authors is getting laptops together. Talk to us about that, please, Yashica, because I don't want to mess that up with Lillian. Okay.
Yes, Lillian has a school in Africa, and I am committed to 10 computers for her school in Africa. And so far we've done 9. We have 9 to go, and Joe Cole and I just finished a webinar where we'll be able to purchase another computer. And then also, so that is our goal. He joined with me and said, yeah, we could do that. So I'm excited about that. Oh, goodness, sorry about that. That's my phone. So yes, I wanted to do that for Lily because I really believe in her mission, her power, and what's happening over in Africa where her school is that they are graduating from the institutions, whether colleges, universities, however, but have lacking basic computer skills because there are no computers. And as you know, the type of world we're living in right now, we are a computer-based world. So yes, I am doing that with her, and I'm so excited because I committed, so I got to do it. So I'm so excited about that. And thank you everybody who's been donating to the cause, and we're going to make sure she gets her, I said 10, we're going to get those 10 computers, and it's going to be this year.
Love that. Thank you so much for that. That's an awesome and wonderful endeavor where there will be many blessed, not just the people who have the access to the laptop itself, but look at the skill set and the knowledge that they will gain, that they will be able to pass on and turnkey to others. So that's a very exciting adventure that's going to be a blessing to many. So thank you so much for that. And I see that we have Delasper Griffin Sanders online with us. I'm so excited. She is also one of the authors, and she certainly has been going through a tough time. But the one thing that I know is there is nothing that's too tough for us when we all take care of one another. So Delasper, thank you for joining us. Certainly our condolences go out to you and your family, but we want you to know that we got you. We are here for you, our sister. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I see,
not to cut you off right there, but since we were on Delasper, and remember that Pelly and I have an ongoing 2 widows in a truck, so you can definitely reach out to us at any time. And I also see that Andy is on there. She and Pelly are coming on your show, Pamela. It looks like Tuesday. Andy says she's super excited about that. That's awesome.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
look at that. That's right. It's just good to see what's going on inside. I'm looking inside. I'm looking down here. So my eyes are going all over the place. Trust me, I'm not cross-eyed. I'm just looking. So, but,
That's funny.
So we do not want to, because we have Dr. Pamela, excuse me, on tonight, and we do not want to dim the light on her at all because this phone's about to fall again. So Pamela, you were, I heard it, I don't know if we can announce this a little bit, the conversation before. You have something new coming up, a new position, what else is coming down the pipeline?
Oh yeah, I guess I could share that. Sure. I stepped out of being a senior pastor some time ago and really wanted to just continue to give back. And so I actually I connected with a ministry that's a fairly large church community in the metro area. And we've been connected with them since the beginning of our church. So I reached out to them and said, how can I give back? And I started an online prayer group, first of all, and that meets the first Monday of every month. So if you're interested in joining us, it's called Purpose. It's Purpose-Driven Prayer, Purpose and Destiny Prayer. And it is awesome. And we come in and we are praying not just for ourselves, right? And for the destiny of one another, but there's so much going on in the world around us, like to get back to the focus of what God says, right? And to begin to pray that out and through. And so we have so much, we have fun with that, but it's very impactful. And from that, it moved into other parts of that ministry's online church community. And so I've recently taken a position there part-time to help motivate and push out their online community, to be there to pray for people when they come to an online service or an online prayer service, to answer questions, and to be an extended pastoral role to those within the community. And it's so easy to do, because while I love to pray, number one, I love people, right? Come on, we have to love people. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing. Sometimes people can drive you crazy, but we love them, right? I know sometimes I can drive people crazy. So I get that. But you know what? We love people. We love to help people. We love to bless people. And then the whole online idea has been huge since COVID, so it's been a big blessing, and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you for reminding me to talk about that, Dr. Angie.
That is,
and also put that awesome. Put the purpose, put it in the chat box so that people can connect with you, because I did hear you say that about prayer. If you can put it in the chat box, but if we can put it in the
chat box on Facebook or
on Facebook, yeah, because so the people can, or either Dr. Angie, I don't know if we can run it real quick, because she said purpose. So it was long.
They can just email me and we'll get them the information, and I could put in the
your
chat.
Email, your email. That way, so people can see it. But now I was trying to hurry up and get that out, because I got a question to ask. So, a question to ask. So let me ask you a question. How do you feel about people being late to Bedside Baptist?
Woo! Well, Dr. Angie, what do you think?
No, better late than never. I suggest that we get there as soon as we possibly can, because you never know when you're going to miss a blessing. So you want to be front and center when everything opens up. You want to be there front and center so you can get that blessing. And the more that you are there, the more blessings that you will be able and eligible to receive. So you want to be there. You don't want to come marching in there 5 minutes before the show is over. You know what I'm saying? Not before the show, but before the service is over.
I wouldn't know what you about Dr. Angie at all. I would not know. I just wanted to know what was the thoughts from the other side. Like, what do you think about that? Just how is that? And I also heard you say that you stepped down from senior ministry, and I understand how many years? After how many years?
Over 25. So we had a good run. And I see Nicole put up the email. Thank you for highlighting that. Thanks, Nicole, for doing that. Yeah, it's been my husband and I, we founded the ministry, and it was started in our home. And in fact, a funny story about that, God's story, when we moved into the home that we live in now, we didn't have any furniture for it, because the house we were in and to the house that we moved into, there was such a drastic difference in size. And so we went, what are we going to do with this? And had never intended to even move, but a client of mine had owned the home and I loved the home. And I kind of lovingly, seriously, jokingly said, if you ever move, please consider me. And so she called me and she said, we're moving. And so we went and saw the house and we made a real low ball offer on the house because, we just did not have the funding at that time to be able to offer her what it was worth. And we told her that. We said, we're not trying to insult you. This is just where we're at. And she was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait before that I do anything. And so the house went on the market for about 6 months. And I was driving home from my day job and I was praying. And these words bubbled up in my heart. You ever had this happen? Your home is here. And we weren't selling our home. We didn't have it on the market. None of that. Came home and I said that to my husband. I said, this is really weird, but I heard this, shared it with him. And he goes, yeah, that is weird. And kind of like, blew it off. And we were hosting Bible study at our house that night. And so in the middle of Bible study, the phone rang. And normally we took the phone. That was back when you took the phone off the hook. You guys remember taking the phone off the hook? Yeah, that was back in those days. We took it off the hook. Yeah, so normally we would do that, but totally forgot to do it. So it was ringing. And do you guys remember answering machines? Mm-hmm. So the answering machine went off and we heard the owner's voice. She said, Mr. and Mrs. Henkel. And so I ran and grabbed the phone. And this is what she said. The house is yours.
Wow.
And so
what an incredible story. It
was an incredible God story. And I came back into the room and I said, do you remember when I told you tonight, honey, that I heard this in my heart? Well, and she said, the house is ours. And so we began moving in the next day into the house, and we walked in and we went, what are we going to do with this space? Like, we don't have any furniture even for it. And the Lord has filled it. The ministry started there. The church started there. We have children now. And so with those 6 kids, we needed space, and we have renters, and businesses have been run out of here. So it really has been used as to his glory. So that's kind of a fun story.
Absolutely. That is a wonderful testament of what God is able to do. Yes. He is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all. So absolutely. We are so grateful for him. I know that's one of the things that connected you and I from the very beginning is our love for the faith, for the ministry. Mm-hmm. So I'm just so glad that we are able to see those things manifested. And as you know, I did not necessarily know why I was so connected to the women of the Powerboys. But as I had mentioned previously on previous shows and so forth, I now understand that. And the reason that I'm even responding to that is because I see that Andy said that it was one of the best experiences that God has ever given to her. Mm. And they are speaking about the women of the Powerboys. So I wanted to get that in before we move on, because I do have some questions that are up. But I wanted to say that the women of the Powerboys was more than just an anthology. And it was one of those things that touched each of us in a different way, and some of us very profoundly. Mm. I just wanted to just acknowledge the fact that while I was in the hospital fighting for my life, the women of the Powerboys came forward for me. They prayed for me, prayed with me, prayed in my absence from being available to pray for myself because of my medical condition. And I tell you, I know that it made the difference, because we are intercessors and we work together, we pray together, we meditate, we do these things so that we can give God the glory. And I tell you, I know that the glory was given to him based on how they showed up for me. So I wanted to throw that in. I know it was out of context with what we were speaking on, but I did want to get it out there.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say, thanks so much to you as well as to Yashica B. The two of you came together and created this safe space, this space where we were all able to come together, not just share our stories, but to connect. And as Andy was saying, to be able to just create a sisterhood. So for that, I'm so grateful. And I just wanted to highlight that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that we have Miss Pelly on there. Hello there, Miss Pelly Humpkin. All right. So I see that. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. So Andy said Pelly and she will air on Tuesday with the Pamela Henkel Show. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. I love it. And then we have a question that is being posed to us. And it is as follows. If I can find it again. I lost it. Here it is. Okay. What are 3 main tips each of you leaders share as a must-do for success?
Mm-hmm.
So who wants to take the first part of that? Give number 1. Each one of us can give 1 success tip.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. I love it. Talk to us about that for a second.
Yeah, for me, it's like always staying in the spirit of gratitude. Even when it doesn't look right, always be grateful for the lesson that you can get out of it, because it's always a lesson among everything if you just look for it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think for me, I think the biggest thing is to keep the faith, to keep your eye focused and stayed on him, because no matter what, no matter how bleak the situation is, just that little mustard seed of faith can get you through. And we all go through things. We all go through all kinds of things. But when you are in ministry, and each of us are ministers in our own right, please don't take a title to mean that it's so much more than the next person. That's not what it is. What I'm saying is, we as ministers of the faith, of the gospel, we are able to just really show people that you can go through things, but the most important part of that is to grow through those things. We want to make sure that we are growing and not just going through, because going through is great. And that is a testament to Christ Jesus, because he's getting us through. Yes, absolutely. But what's more of a testament, where we can give him more glory, give him more honor, is to show the world, to show the kingdom, to show those who are in our circles that even when we go through with a smile on our face. And while we may be shedding tears on the inside, outside we are expressing and showing how to respond to situations, because those reactions are those things that get us into trouble. We don't want to react. We want to respond, and we want to know that we have enough faith to carry us through no matter what the situation is. I'm babbling a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that we know people. I don't want anybody thinking that because we are in this ministry work, because we are in this circle, that all of a sudden all of our problems disappear. No, in fact, our problems probably increase, because the enemy is busy. He's always going to be working and sending his imps to make sure that they're busy and make sure that they're putting up distractions and things in our way. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But we must have the faith to get through that and to push through no matter what. So that would be my success tip. Tap into that faith, that mustard seed of faith.
Ooh, that is so good. Gratitude and keep the faith. I think I would add to that, as that third point, would be to celebrate the small things. Don't just focus on having to have that big win.
Yes.
Lots of little things that are wins. They gather up, they total up, they add up, don't they? And to not expect yourself to have to bite off the big piece. Like, you can take little bits at a time. In fact, that's how we create a new habit. You start something little and you do it over and over and over and over again, right? And so a lot of times we can want like this big kaboom, and sometimes we have those moments that happen and they're awesome, but learning to take it step by step, and celebrating each step and being okay with something little that is increasing you little by little, instead of feeling like you have to take on the whole world at once. And, a statement of mine for this year is this: it can wait. And so sometimes we just need to allow that to happen, to let it wait while while things get worked out. So that's what I would say, is celebrate every day, find something to celebrate. And if you're struggling with it, then it can wait, right? And let the process happen, marinate in the situation, whatever it is. And in due time, it will come to fruition.
Which is a perfect example of the story you just shared with us about the house, about 6 months or so past, as you said. So it's just a matter of waiting for the harvest, because as we are planting the seed and sowing the seed, those things will definitely come to harvest if we wait. The big problem that we run into so often is we give up before the harvest comes, and we give up while, we get so close, as that story is told of the man digging for diamonds or digging for gold. I forget which one it was, but as he was there, he was right in front of it and gave up like 3 feet before it manifested itself. So we have to hang in there. We have to stay focused and just keep pushing through until we get there, and we will get there. I know there's an acronym that says push, and that is, as you're pushing through, pray until something happens. So that acronym is so true. We must pray until something happens. And just when we say wait, it's one thing to wait and do nothing. But when you wait with expectancy, that's when you see the value of that faith that we spoke of. So all of these things tie in together: gratitude, faith, and being able to just be still. Be still. That's really what you were saying. And as we tie those things together, I think they are a fantastic foundation for success. So Andy, we hope that we have answered your question. We hope that we have given some strategies and some tips that are able to help us understand how we can be successful. And these are certainly some ingredients, but they're not all ingredients. But the most important ingredient that I see is what Yashica said: the gratitude. If we are able to express gratitude, have that attitude of gratitude, as they say, and I suggest that you do that gratitude piece first thing in the morning when you open your eyes, and last thing at night before you go to sleep. Deal with those issues of just being able to recognize that you have something to be thankful for. No matter what your circumstances are, your current circumstances, there is something to be thankful for. And we must utter that, and we must say that in a way that is heartfelt. And the more we have, the more we speak on gratitude, the more we have to be grateful about. So thank you for sharing that, Yashica, as well. So I thank you very much, ladies. Let's see if we have anything else. I want to check that out. You guys can jump in while I'm looking here.
I like what Martinette said. She said, a win is a win.
Where's she at? I don't see it.
It's in the chat. She just said it right about 7:30. A win is a win. And also, if to put it, what everybody said in another term, is just to remember that you don't sow and reap in the same season. And I believe that's when we get to that anxious and we want it now mode. But just remember that you don't sow and reap in the same season. Maybe you need to step back and pray for your season, to understand that you're not in season, or you may be in season. It just depends on how it's coming.
Yes, absolutely. Pele says faith makes it all possible. Absolutely. And I see Sabrina on there. Hi, Sabrina.
When I saw Pele's post, I said, okay, she is leaving off those letters, right? That's right. Because when she spoke yesterday, she was like, oh, okay, I left one off. I always think in goodness and laughter. Thank you, Pele.
Yes, Sally. Yes, yes, yes. Why you have to call her out? You like you sending people under the bus today. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention to exactly what you're doing here.
I'm gonna run you right over, Guru. Yeah, but I couldn't help it. I just saw it and couldn't help but laugh at it, and then because I know the story behind it.
Yes, that was a funny one. I have to say I got a good laugh myself. And yeah, so Dr. Gray says, growing through while going through. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Andy says, hallelujah, sister. So, and then Delasper says, the enemy has no issue with you or not if you are not working for God. And that's so true. If you just doing smooth sailing and everything is great and wonderful, something's wrong. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'll be honest with you. It's nice that we get those seasons of joy and peace and all those, but those seasons of problem free, there's a reason that you're problem free. So you want to pay attention to that. I think you might be on something there, Delasper. And that also tells you another thing, the flip side of that. When you're going through and it just seems like that season is just increasing, when you go through those tough times and those challenges, I want you to know that your harvest is on its way. You are about to experience explosive abundance, those things that only God can bring. So you hang on to it, waiting for those things because they're coming. They're on their way. And we just have to be mindful of that.
Go to Andy's question. You can put it up on the screen. It says, as successful show host, what would you share for the beginners following your path? I'm going to let Dr. Pamela answer that one for us, please.
That's what we just answered, crazy.
No, we did not. She said, what would you share for the beginners? That's how she said about success. That's a different question.
Is it? All right, let's see. Where is it?
Now, wait, make sure now, because she says, as successful show host, what would you share for the beginners following your path? And the first question was success.
Okay,
right?
All right.
All right, now.
All right. My apologies. I take it back.
It's just the same person asking the question.
Yes.
You guys are so
I don't
funny.
see that question. That's the problem. Here, let me keep looking.
Because
you
it
guys
might
keep
be
talking while I find. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. See, that wasn't my fault. I couldn't see it. So that's why I thought you were bringing up the same thing again. So as successful show hosts, what would you share for the beginners following your path?
What a great question. You know, everything happens, in my opinion now, there is an eternal purpose, right? So when we came together as the women of the Power Voice, there was an eternal purpose. There was a physical thing we were doing, right? We came together for this book, which is now legendary, but there was eternal purpose in what we were doing. We were in the season of the women of the Power Voice, right? The creation, the launching, all of this stuff, but there was an eternal purpose. And one of those eternal purposes was you, Dr. Angie. One of those was right there, right? So
absolutely. I can attest to that.
Absolutely. And we could go around the Power Voice, women of the Power Voice room, so to say, and say, what was God doing in you at that moment or through that season? And I think every woman would have something to say. So there is an eternal purpose of everything, in my opinion. And so as a show host, it's not about me as the show host, it's about the eternal purpose of what I am doing. And one of my prayers, again, coming back to that place of faith and prayer, knowing that there's an eternal purpose, is this: what am I going to be? What is going to be birthed or brought forth from this? When I'm interviewing these different people, my guests that are on the show, whether it was through the Women of the Power Voice or whatever else, I have that's being developed in my heart, that I'm going to be interviewing people, or a series. We're gearing up for a series on health and wholeness right now that's going to be coming out. So for each guest that's on there, there is an eternal purpose to that. What are they bringing that they're going to be able to share and impart to the hearers or the viewers, right? and realizing that. And it doesn't matter where, don't ever despise small beginnings, right? Don't ever despise that, because you can get on there and maybe you have 5 people that have viewed your podcast or your radio show or your live or whatever. But what if one of those one of those people that were the listeners, the viewers, the attendees, what if their life has changed because of that, right? And that's what it's about. Each one reaching one. If we can reach out and change one person's life, make a difference in the world, that's what it's about. So to me, without going into technical things or all that other stuff, when I began Purpose by Design podcast, and now I'm blessed to have 3 different platforms, and each platform is on radio, it's on podcast format, it's on YouTube, or it's on TV. I didn't try to set any of that up. It just evolved naturally, or supernaturally, you could say. But the whole point to me was, how can I help somebody else? How can I bring people on and give them a platform to tell their story? How can we make a difference in the world? So really coming to that place of stillness again. What is the purpose? And following what feels right in your spirit and in your heart. And then don't vacillate off of that. Stay with what is feeling right and continue to move in that vein, and watch there be so much fruit that comes from it. And then take those little steps at a time. When I first started, you guys, I had a little teeny computer, and I say little teeny, not because, I mean, it was small, but it didn't cost a whole lot of money, and it had an okay camera, and I didn't have a backdrop, and I didn't have a bunch of light. I didn't have any of that, right? You don't have to have all of that to start. You just need to start. You just need to start, right? And so don't let the start stop you. Just begin to step out in faith. Go ahead, walk on the water, and just do it, and just embrace it, and be authentically you. Find that eternal purpose and walk it out. So that's what I would share. Thank you for the question.
Wow, that was awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so we have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Did you want to respond to the question?
No, I didn't realize I was muted. I was gonna, me, I gotta bring in my stuff. So, and then I'm muted. So, yep.
Oh, I thought you were saying something. I'm sorry. My bad. All right. So I see a statement on here that just really resonated with me. And Martinette says, don't compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 11. I love that. And that is so true. We get caught up into, but so-and-so is doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm only doing this. And essentially, it doesn't matter. And like Dr. Pamela was just saying, as Les Brown has said to all of us at one point or another, he says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. So true. And that ties in with what you were just saying, Pamela. So I just want everybody to know that it is the grassroots. It is not necessarily the hare that will finish first. The tortoise may come along and finish first. We never know, but we have to be in the race to figure that part out. And the main thing is just continuing and pushing through, not quitting too soon. And another thing that I think is important that we pay attention to, and that is that Holy Spirit, that voice that speaks within us, that inner voice, is if you be still and you listen and pay attention and you are aware of that voice, it will lead you and guide you directly where you need to be when you need to be there. So don't worry about if things are not moving along as fast as you think they should be moving along. Just don't worry about those kinds of things, because the point of it is to have that faith, to praise him and give him the glory. And when you do that, all of the other things will line up on their own. We don't have to worry about having this happen at this point in time and this happen at this point in time. What we have to worry about is that we stay focused, that we don't allow the distraction to take us off the beaten path. So let's see what's going on with some of our speakers over here. And I say speakers because they are interacting with us and they may not actually be speaking to us, but they're speaking to us. Let's see what's happening here.
Before you do that, Dr. Angie, I do want to mention this too, as well as when we are starting, just don't forget that everybody started from somewhere and everything started with an idea. But when you don't jump in. So as an expert, understand there's steps. It's a process to this. And if you're honest with people about your process and letting them know, you're liable to have people to grow with you, instead of having false expectations, and don't have those expectations for yourself as well as others. Detach from the outcome and just do your best. So that will be my 2 cents on that, is that when you're starting, start small and just know that everybody started from somewhere. Everybody started from somewhere. So if you allow your people to know that, I think that'll be a better move than to just jump right in and say, oh, I'm an expert. Not quite yet. You're getting that. Oh, not quite.
Right. Love that. So Delasper says, yes, making a difference in the life of one person. That does matter. It truly does matter, because that's really all we can do. One person at a time, and the rest of it will fix itself. The rest of it will do it. And Andy says, move in that vein, little steps. And I have a saying that I say to my husband all the time: small change adds up. So when you make those small changes, they create big investments. They create the payoff that you've been looking for. As long as you consistently, with discipline, with faith, with gratitude, you work those things out, little tiny steps at a time. That's how do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. So this is one of those things that are a good example of that. So Andy says, yes, I am starting small. Thank you for your encouragement. Nicole says, you have to start somewhere or you will never get started. Absolutely. That's so true. Love that. Absolutely. We all have our own race to run and our own lane to stay in. Amen, Dr. Gray. Yes, indeed. Yes, yes, yes. Andy says, yes, I get frustrated of my slow crawls, but it's God's timing. That's it. Just ask the Lord to order your steps and direct your journey. Don't worry about all of that other stuff. That's when I say that, and I know it's easier said than done, because we're human. In our human existence, our human experience, yes, we want to compare our chapter 1 to their chapter 11, but it's not fruitful. That's not the best use of our time and our energy. And more importantly than that, that's not the best use of our spirit. We don't want to allow these situations to discourage us and to get into our spirit and make us feel like we're less than. So we want to make sure that we are moving forward at all times, albeit maybe tiny, tiny steps, maybe a half a step, but at least it's not going backwards. Just keep moving. Don't stand still. When you stand still and not have any progress, no movement, no action, then you're not going anywhere. You're going to be stuck. So we want to make sure that we're not stuck. The only time that we should be still is when we're listening. We're listening and being aware of what that still crushed voice is saying to us. We're paying attention to our inner voice, paying attention to the Holy Spirit. And the only way we can do that is to get somewhere and be still. But we don't want to stay stuck. There's a difference between being still and being stuck. We want to make sure that we are just being still, not being stuck. Okay. All right. So anything else, Yashica B, as I continue to scroll down and look at these lovely messages that we have? Allow people to grow with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, just getting back to what you were saying earlier about not being, keep moving, not being stuck, because absolutely. And this, even Dr. King said, just keep moving, just don't stop, keep moving. And if you ever looked at a soldier's uniform, you look at their shoulder and you see the flag on their uniform, and it's turned. People say, oh, why is the flag turned backwards? Well, actually, it's not turned backwards. It's turned in the way it was supposed to be, because if you're moving forward, the stripes will go the other way. So if you ever think about where you're going, just think about that. The stripes will go the other way because you continue to move forward. And with that, There's no reason, because I always say that though, like my little slow stuff, the universe loves speed. It does, but it loves my speed because it's spinning, but it's spinning at my rate, my pace. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not moving. It may not look like anything, because you could actually be collapsing time, moving just that fast that you have to catch up with yourself. Remember, I used to tell y'all that I'm already on the shores of Hawaii. Y'all just have to catch up. But that's basically the way it is. If you can imagine yourself out of the source, out of where you are, it just, everything else just has to catch up. And especially if you're imagining your future, so it's already there. You just got to get there, right? So don't hold yourself so in this jungle. I said these little. I want to say something. I ain't gonna say that because we on air. Don't hold yourself in these little knots, I should say, that you think that you aren't moving. And remember to celebrate your small wins. I know we talked about wins there, but you got to celebrate your small wins. And you did something great this weekend. I just want to tell y'all, Angie was all down in Atlanta. She got recognized, got a free mentorship for a year. I mean, who do that? You moving? You moving? Yeah, so that's awesome. So just celebrate those small wins, and that's a win, a huge one to me.
Pele says she's grateful to be on the ACERT network to share our story. And I highlight that because a number of women were selected. I believe 25 women were selected as inspiring women. And I was grateful and so honored to be one of those women. And I'll tell you, I did not realize how impactful that would be to me. You know, first I got the email and I got excited about the email. But then as I sat and I looked at all of the greatness of all the other women, Yashica was one of the women. Pele was one of the women. As I looked at all these different women, I cried. Like the tears just filled me up. I welled up with tears because I realized how special it is to be not necessarily recognized, but to be selected among your peers, people who are working on the same things that you're working on and doing what you're doing, and in their own way. We're all telling our story. We're all either writing our story, speaking it, whatever it is, but we're getting our story out there in order to be a blessing to the kingdom. So congratulations to each and every one of the women who were selected for that. I truly, truly, truly just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of that collective. There's a word I'm looking for. It came in my mind and went out. But anyhow, I'm doing that a lot lately. But that cohort, that wonderful cohort of women, it was truly a blessing and an honor. So Dr. Tracy Lashley, thank you so much for what you were doing to be a blessing to the kingdom and bringing your technology skills to the forefront and allowing us to shine in that way. That's a way that not many people have the blessing to do. And I believe, Dr. Pamela, your show is on there. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. I love that. Love that. Absolutely.
Well, we will be moving soon. We just hadn't figured it out yet. But we're getting there. Listen, Dr. Angie, when you start with that, I was like, I know she ain't expecting for me to help her out with that word because, you know, I'm simple with these words. You don't want the word out. You be like, she would have said a word. You think 3 weeks later, like, what did she say?
Stop it. Stop.
Yes. Yes, you do. Because cohort, I would have just said selection.
Yes. Oh, Dr. Tracy was on here. I didn't know that. Yay. Dr. Tracy. Hi, Dr. Tracy.
Yeah, hi there. Well, that's good. This is a great night.
You said that computer brain has to reset sometimes. Absolutely. I think she talking about my brain trying to reset for that word.
Because they know you'll come out with some stuff.
Say it again.
I said they know you'll come out with some stuff, and we'll be like, okay.
Absolutely. The lesson here is you have to be able to laugh at yourself. If you can't laugh at yourself, you got problems, right?
Yep.
So we got it. It's all good because we all gonna make mistakes. We all gonna have that brain lapse where we can't figure out what's going on, and it happens to me a lot now since I've been home from the hospital. I'm saying, wait, what? Like I'm trying to make the connections, trying to pull it all together. It's taking a little bit of time, but I get there. I'll get there eventually because I'm making those small steps that we just talked about. So
absolutely.
Do take those small steps and laugh while you're taking them. Even if you gotta crawl, as Andy says, she crawling. Andy ain't crawling. She says she crawling, but she's not crawling. So
she's been doing good things. Great blessing. She and another one that's not on here tonight, but Allison. Allison has been. I mean, I've been loving following her story, and man. But we are coming up on. We have like 6 minutes left, and I want to give Dr. Pamela an opportunity to shout herself out, anybody else out, and just give you an opportunity to come on screen and just say whatever comes to your mind and heart for our audience. Give you a couple of minutes to do that.
Wow, it's just me. Hi, everyone. I just want to encourage you to run after your dreams and always remember that your life matters, your story matters, your voice matters, and that there are lives hanging in the balance, waiting to hear from you. What if Yashica and I had not jumped in with the women of the Powerboys? What if we hadn't have done that? All of these things that we've celebrated tonight together, oh my gosh, so many of them, they wouldn't be here. But it's because all of us that were in that anthology and in that experience together, we all said yes. And so I just want to encourage you to say yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then, you know what? Run with it and let it evolve organically, naturally. And if you need to call up somebody and call up Yashica, call up Dr. Angie, call up me, call up whoever that has your heart and has the right mindset and faith with you, that'll say, yeah, I'll run with you on this. I'll support you. When you don't have the belief in it, I can believe in you. Just remember, whatever it is, it's your specialty, because with God, anything can be your specialty. All things are possible. If someone had told me that I would be a visionary author and successful at it, I would have laughed. If somebody would have told me I would have multiple platforms, I would have laughed. If somebody would have told me you're going to speak internationally and you're going to have a coaching community and you'll be mentoring people all over the world, I literally probably not only would have laughed, I would have run away and hid. You know what I'm saying? Take it one step at a time and you're going to do great. Thank you so much for having me on today. This was so wonderful, ladies. I'm so honored and privileged. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate all the expertise that you brought to the table. We just love what you're doing out in the community, whether it be the online community or the external community, whatever it may be. Keep doing what you're doing and just continue to allow God to use you in the way that he has called for you to do. Don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing and worried about everybody else. As you well know, do what you have been called to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you for joining us. And as we always do, we want to just take this moment out and let Yashica B close us out. Thank you, Dr. Pamela.
Thank you.
Ooh,
okay, it's my turn. Wow. Yes. What a great night. What a great show. What a great way to start off our next season, as we should say, with Dr. Angie and I. We just want to piggyback a little bit on some of the stuff that we said. And the quote that comes to my mind is a quote by Les Brown. It says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you must be started in order to be great. And I'm going to go with one more. Mahatma Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. 2 terrific quotes, 2 great things to lead your life off. I told you I'm simple worded, but I always leave you with this. Marinate on those quotes, whichever way you want to go, whichever one of them this week, and do something different. Do something different with yourself. As long as you're waking up on this side of the dirt, you have an opportunity to do something different. And in that doing something different, make a difference in somebody else's life as well as your own. Celebrate your small wins. Celebrate the loves. Just do something different. Tell somebody else as you're walking or driving. Tell them, hey, we need more love in the world. We need more understanding in the world, because one thing that cures all is love, believe it or not. And that's true, authentic love for one another. Passionate, compassionate, everything for one another. Regardless of what's going on in the world today, just remember that. And this is Yashica B. And I hope everyone have a great week. And we will see you all back here next Sunday with another great episode of Conversations for the Soul with Dr. Angie and Yashica B. Thank you.